Hi, welcome to this video. On May 22nd, 2020, there is a new moon in Gemini happening at 10:39 a.m. Pacific time. This new moon occurs at 2 degrees of Gemini, and Venus just went retrograde on May 13th and is conjunct Mercury at 20 degrees of Gemini. And the North Node has just moved in to Gemini as well at 29 degrees of Gemini, while the South Node is in Sagittarius at 29 degrees. And that just happened on May 4th. So right now, during this new moon, there is quite a bit of Gemini energy going on, and it's not quite an eclipse yet, but there will be one coming up on June 5th, a penumbral eclipse happening on that day, on the full moon. So, Gemini is all about communication, and during this time when the nodes are where they are, this is a time of bridging differing ideas and really trying to sift through ideas that are good or bad. And really, I think this energy would be best used in bringing ideas into more of a debate kind of oriented situation. So with the South Node in Sagittarius, we are needing to kind of bring wisdom from different cultures, different belief systems, different philosophies, and kind of channel that into teaching and studying, learning, and really kind of bringing more variety of ideas into your awareness. And I really can see this as us trying to build bridges between areas where people have become so divisive over things. So it's going to be bringing two sides together, bringing the dualities together so that we can actually just kind of lay them all out and debate them and see what is true and what isn't true, and kind of lay it all out there and have us really decide for ourselves what the better idea actually is. And so one of the things that's happening too is Saturn just went retrograde on, I think it was May 10th. So yeah, I think so. So with Saturn moving retrograde and being in Aquarius, and this is also trining this new moon, this is bringing to the forefront the restrictions of freedom that are starting to be imposed upon us. And so this could be bringing up freedom of speech, especially during this new moon. And because here's the thing with the freedom of speech is maybe sometimes people are spreading misinformation, and maybe people are bringing forward ideas that are not necessarily correct or true or accurate or the best. Maybe some people have bad ideas. That's just the reality of life. But we should be dealing with those ideas not by censoring them, because all that does is actually makes it more tempting to look into those ideas, and it makes you kind of think, well, why are they censoring them, right? So censorship is not the answer to bad ideas. The best answer is having debates about these ideas and having them be analyzed openly by people who actually know what they're talking about. So it shouldn't be something where we're causing restriction to occur. It's something where we should be having an open dialogue about them. And that's what this Gemini energy really is bringing forward, especially right now in this time. So Venus going retrograde does kind of give us a sense of reflection within our relationships, and also could bring some inner kind of like need to like have inner self-love and finding that love from within and emanating it outward and creating more harmony in that way. So right now is the time for focusing within yourself and finding that inner love, inner peace, and inner harmony so that you can really experience a deeper sense of love and connection within your relationships. With it conjunct Mercury, this is more easily accessible to our minds even. So engaging the mind in your relationships and being able to have more discussions about all kinds of subjects and topics and new ideas coming in about the things that you really love and things like that could also happen. And then we've got Mars in Pisces sextiling Uranus in Taurus. So with Mars in Pisces, this does have a very, it's a little bit of a difficult placement for Mars to be, because Pisces can be so, murky at times, or like kind of hard to grasp. And Mars, it wants to get straight to the point. It's just like, let's get to the point. But with Pisces, it can kind of create maybe situations where when you're doing stuff, unconscious emotions can come up, whether it's like unconscious anger or like, I feel like it can kind of bring up like an accident prone energy at times with Mars and Pisces, because if you're not facing your emotions head on, then they can affect what you're doing in the way of like just things happening, like, things breaking, things, not going according to plan. Or you could even be more like kind of unconsciously angry too, because Mars does rule anger. And so it's not like the easiest placement for Mars to be in. And with it sextile Uranus, this is a time of potentially like deeper insights into your emotional state and being able to address your emotional state more easily. The sextile obviously makes it a little easier to handle, and sudden insights could occur. And, the one positive with Mars and Pisces is that you could act upon what you've been imagining for yourself and act upon the deeper sort of desires or emotions that you've been really wanting to experience. So that could be a positive. And with Uranus sextiling it, then you could have sudden bouts of inspiration to take action on those dreams and ideas, so that you can make them more concrete. And let's see here, Chiron is at 8 degrees of Aries, so it is sextiling the new moon. So this could be bringing up some deeper kind of emotions, and this could be a time for kind of talking out your emotions and talking about the deeper wounds that may have occurred, like, older wounds that may have occurred in childhood, or maybe even just kind of like some of that, I'm getting a sense of like anger kind of coming up for us at this time, especially with the Mars and Pisces and the Chiron and Aries. There could be sort of like anger or injustice kind of essences, like karmic energies around anger, and maybe like, wounds around anger, like where it could even be, and I think the reason why I say injustice is because with Pisces, Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, so it kind of has this karma thing going on, and it could even have to do with like past lives or ancestors or things like that coming up to like to be released. And with Chiron and Aries, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, so it's kind of interesting to like note that, I guess. But also Aries is ruled by Mars. So I feel like they're kind of working together to help us release some of this energy that's going on in terms of just like, yeah, like disharmony and like bad things happening, you know, in history, and like healing those kinds of things, like healing around war and stuff like that, like the more traumatic stuff that is, you know, has to do with like battle and stuff like that. So, but yeah, this could be a time for kind of getting through what you know, talking through this stuff and healing it, and maybe even teaching others how to heal themselves too, potentially, because Chiron is considered the wounded healer. So what it, you know, where it has been wounded is kind of where it can help others to heal, because it understands that wound. So it is able to be a better healer to those who have also experienced that same type of wound. Yeah, and Jupiter is also retrograde as of, I believe, May 14th, I think. Something like that. May 13th, May 14th. I think Venus might have gone retrograde May 13th, and Jupiter went retrograde May 14th. And then Pluto went retrograde on April 25th. So they are both retrograde in Capricorn and conjunct, because Pluto's at 24 degrees and Jupiter's at 27 degrees. So here we go, huh? More Capricorn stuff still going on. Saturn's going to be moving back into Capricorn and soon. And so there's still going to be some issues around authority figures, issues around the system. I mean, obviously there's been issues around the system, but these issues are just going to keep on being, you know, exacerbated until we finally figure out the core of the issue. And with it retrograde, we have a whole new perspective on things. You know, obviously as things have gone on, our perspective has gained a lot of wisdom in these last, you know, as it's been going through these degrees that it's about to go retrograde in. We've learned a lot of information. We've seen a lot of stuff happen. There's a lot going on right now. Now that it's going retrograde, we have all of that wisdom to take with us through those degrees again. And hopefully we come up with some sort of solution that resolves the core of the problem in our system. And I really hope we get better people into our government. You know, I mean, I hope that that's what happens as a result of this retrograde, and then forward, you know, these retrogrades in Capricorn and going forward again. Hopefully we will be able to bring better people on board, and things will get eventually better. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Have an awesome day. Talk to you later.